Amen. Ephesians. Y'all pray for me. This mic is acting up, but we're going to keep going. Ephesians chapter 1. I want to lift verses 1 through 12, the Message translation. Look what it says. I, Paul, under God's plan as an apostle, a special agent of Christ Jesus, writing to you faithful believers, Ephesus. I greet you with the grace and peace poured into our lives by God our Father and our Master Jesus Christ. How blessed is God, and what a blessing he is. He's the Father of our Master Jesus Christ, and takes high places of blessings in him long before he laid earth's foundation. He had us in mind. That make me want to shout right there. Had settled on us as the focus of his love, to be made whole and holy, not by your works, not by how good you are, not by how you think you deserve it, but by his love. Next verse. Long, long ago, he decided to adopt us into his family through Jesus Christ. What a pleasure he took in planning this. He wanted us to enter into the celebration, here it is, of his lavish gift giving by the hand of his beloved Son. Because of the sacrifice of the Messiah, his blood poured out on the altar of the cross, we are free. I'm reading too fast. I know there's some sight words up there, y'all. I'm going to say it one more time. We are free. And if that didn't make you shout, look what it says. We are free people, free of penalties and punishments chalked up by all of our, maybe they didn't say some. Y'all too, oh yeah. See, y'all too perfect, because I got some stuff I need to make sure is covered. Bro, Hunter, am I right? Just in case I didn't mention it in prayer, he got me. By all of our misdeeds, and not just barely free, he thought of everything, provided for everything we could possibly need, letting us in on his plans. He took such a delight in making. He set it all out before. He set it all out. Young folks say he put it out there. Golly. He provided everything we could possibly need, letting us in on his plans, took such delight in making us. He set it all out there before us in Christ, a long-range plan in which everything would be brought together and summed up in him, everything in the deepest heavens, everything on planet Earth. It's in Christ that we find out who we are. Some of the visitors looking like, what they clapping for? Find out who we are and what we are living for. Long before we first heard of Christ and got our hopes up, he had his eyes on us. He designed on us for glorious living, part of all purpose. He is working out in everything and everyone. From that last verse, here's my message. They got it twisted. Look at somebody and say, they got it twisted. Yeah. If you don't know this, I'm good, musicians. If you don't know this, you'll let the world trick you into thinking that you don't have this. And the truth be told, before we were taught better, and before we got to a Bible teaching church, and before we started praying for our eyes to be open, the world had us too. Oh, I'm going to check in with you. Don't trip on me. We followed behind some people that we had no business following behind. We tried to live a lifestyle in the image. I'm digging this thing because I can move. The lifestyle and image of trying to be something, somebody that God did not design us to be. And no matter how many steps you took, no matter how many changes you went through, you were never settled in on the image that you were trying to live. There was something in you that kept telling you there's got to be more to There's got to be more to this. There's no way that God has birthed me to be going through what I'm going through. But if you like me, them same people God had to use to hurt you, them same situations he had to use to back you up against the wall, because he knew how he built you, and he knew what he put in you, and he knew what problems, what situations, what circumstances, what people, what friendships would take for you to bring it out of you. Let's be honest, you're better now. Oh, yeah, you cried some tears, but you're better now. There's a confidence about you that if they didn't know you, they would say you were borderline arrogant, that you think you somebody. But can I be honest with you? God saved you. God delivered you. And I just want to give you a public service announcement. You ain't got to beg nobody. Come on, give me more energy. Hey, you ain't got to beg nobody. God didn't create you to beg for anything. It's the letdowns that made you know what you can do by yourself. It was those that turned their back on you that made you realize, man, I got to hustle a little harder. I got to grind a little harder. I'll sleep when I die, but I'm about to get everything. Come on, talk to me. Am I talking to anybody in here? I ain't begging you to be your friend. I'm not begging you to hang out with you. I'd rather do it by myself. Oh, the blues rather say, I can do. All right, then. Do bad by myself. I'm not begging anybody to like me, love me, provide for me. Come on, support me. I cringe sometimes, especially the young ladies. I need me a husband to take care of me. No, baby, listen to me. Don't do that. Don't listen. Don't do that, because we make the mistake. I heard one writer say we make the mistake. Either we try to get with somebody for in love, in debt, or in heat. I'm going over here. We try to get with somebody because we in love, in debt, or in heat. I'm going over here. We try to get with somebody because we in love, in debt, or in heat. But when your eyes become open, you don't get together for in love, in debt, or in heat. You get together because we in purpose. Can I help you right there? Because we are in purpose. In other words, when the money ain't there, are you going to stick with me? When I don't look like I got the Coca-Cola shape, are you going to stay with me? We do. We have purpose together. Come hell or high water, you ain't going nowhere. Get mad if you want to. Go sleep in the guest room. I'll see you in a couple of days. But I ain't going nowhere. I can't see my life. Come on, help me. You got to get to that point, because if you're marrying and hooking up and building relationships on the previous three that I mentioned to you, sooner or later, those things are going to dwindle away. And you're going to find yourself sitting in the living room, in the dining room, And they're going to walk through and you're going, what the world am I doing? Let me keep preaching. As a born-again believer, we have access to all of heaven's riches. We have to stop looking at our stuff based on the world's riches. Do you not understand that heaven's riches store more than what the world can store? This is why all of your stuff is not sitting here right now in front of you. Because if God gave you all that he wants to give you right now, your apartment couldn't hold it. Your bank account couldn't hold it. Your cousins and them couldn't hold it. And so he has to store it up there in order that you can access it through him. He gives it to you not when you want it. Come on here. But when you need it. Somebody say in heaven. In heaven, the spiritual realm is real. And it's more real to me every day as a believer. Because as I go through life, as you go through life, God has put you in positions and situations that you can't ask family for. Come on, they think you small. Come on, they got it twisted that when you start sharing your dreams with them, they can't see it for themselves. Neither can they see it for you. They don't know how to help themselves. So how do you think they can help you? And if you want it to come to pass, you have to ask the creator of all things. There's nothing that you can think of that's too big for God. He created everything. You have to stop talking to small-minded people and talk to the man that knows everything. Somebody shout everything. Yeah, the spirit realm is real. It includes everybody's stuff. The earth can't hold everybody's stuff. I was thinking about it. I said, God, how can I make it plain to them? He said, tell them that the spirit realm is like a heavenly Amazon. I got it right here. Tell them that the spirit realm is like a big heavenly Amazon warehouse. And everything you need is there. Somebody got excited right here. Yeah, everything that you need is up there, but they don't know to pull it off the shelf until you say so. And you say so. Anybody ever seen the Amazon warehouse and they got them things running through them conveyor belts and it goes up and grabs and run through the conveyor belt? God said every time you ask him for something, every time you petition him for something, angels go to work in the warehouse and they begin to grab stuff off the shelf and they run it. You ain't got to worry about it not getting to your address. He knows where you live. You ain't got to worry about nobody else getting it because what God has, y'all better come on, talk to me. I came all the way from Charlotte to talk to you. What God has for you is for you. It is for you. And it got your name. Tell somebody it got your name on it. And it's there, and you got to know how to requisition your stuff. And if you're not careful and you don't know who you are, you begin to ask other people for your stuff. And other people can't give it to you because they don't see it for themselves. And if you're not careful, you'll start looking at other people's lives and measuring yours up to them and wondering why you don't have what they have and wonder why you're not doing what they're doing. It's because God said, I didn't design you like I designed them. And if you believe me for what I want to give to you, baby, you ain't seen the half yet. What you're mad about, I'll give you better. I'll give you more. But you got to know how to pull it off the shelf. Will somebody shout glory? Yeah. The post-Cartesians said this, that they believe that there's a phenomenon in the contextualism that investigates the illumination of emotional and experiences. I'm going to say it again. The post-Cartesians have a psychoanalysis by contrast that is a phenomenological contextual that investigates, illuminates emotional experiences. I wanted to put that in there because it was in my notes from college, and I wanted to let you know that I did have some notes for college that I did study. But what I'm really trying to say is that the post-Cartesians believe that this world is divided into two cosmological models. a earth realm and a spiritual realm. There's two realms. There's an earth realm, or scientists call it a superlunar and a sublunar. That the superlunar is where, watch this, immortal celestial bodies reside. The sublunar is where the bodies, though the beings that exist, must have air, must have water, must have heat in order to survive. That's us right here. But we are the creations that we can be in two places at. Oh, Pastor Hines, that's so because he is seated in heavenly places, and we are in him. So we have access to both realms, though we live here. You don't stay here. That when the air is taken from your body, you go back to where you came. I'm teaching better than y'all looking at me. You go back to where you come from. But if you rely on here to provide for you, here will let you down. If you rely on here to take care of you, here will turn their back on you. If you rely on here to stay here, understanding this, that you are not of this world, but you are in this world, that you cannot be conformed to this world, because sooner or later you got to leave here. But while you're here and you're doing the will of God, if you need something, you don't ask here for it, because here ain't got it. Somebody say two realms. Two realms. So there's two realms. But we as believers, we are tapped into both models. We are both, watch this, flesh and spirit. But if you stay in the world, they'll have following the flesh more. They'll have you conform to the flesh more. And watch this, the side that you feed the most is the side that's growing the most. Y'all didn't catch that right there. If all you do is out with people that every time you ask them how they doing, that stuff gonna get on you. You're gonna start feeling bad. You're gonna start going through. If you're all constantly hanging around people that have no vision, that have no dreams, all of a sudden you're gonna be feeling like you ain't got nothing going on in your life, that God is not blessing you, but if you start hanging out with movers and shakers, you start hanging out with people that are dreaming big, that is tapped into something bigger than here, you will start dreaming yourself. That's why I'm telling you that even when you come to church, you got to be careful who you sit next to. You got to be careful who you talking to. You got to be careful who you clapping your hands next to, because some folk be telling you you're clapping too loud, you're shouting too loud, you're doing too much. It don't take all that. It do take all that, because I got some dreams that you sitting on your hands can't hinder. I got some dreams that you sitting there trying to look all pretty because you went got you a new lace front, can't pay my bills. I got some stuff that I'm waiting on God to do, and I need to hook up with some people that if I get it done, you ain't gonna hate on me. I need some people to shout glory. Oh, yeah. So let me move a little further. I gotta go. Two things run this world. I gotta go. Two things run this world: cause and effect. If you ever see something happening in your life, there's a cause to it. Whether the cause happened here or the cause happened there. The reason why it's in front of you is because of the cause. Something made it happen. You ever walked in a room and it just didn't feel right? Come on, I'm talking about somebody I'm going to go over here. I'm talking about something. You ever walk in and it just, you like, oh, no, they ain't. No, they ain't. Don't feel like you ever, I ain't talking to everybody, but I got a good, keen sense of discernment. I can walk in and I can pick up a witch in a minute. You hear me? I can walk in and the young folk call it hating, but I'm just telling you that there was a cause that caused that manifestation, that what you experiencing. And if that, you ever thought about somebody and then you end up seeing them at a gas station or something, and you're like, man, I just brought them up last week, And now all of a sudden, well, imagine if you put your mind on some big stuff. Come on, give me a little more energy. Imagine if you start seeing your way out of some stuff. Imagine if you start seeing yourself the head and not the tail. Imagine if you got the house on your mind. You got the job on your mind. You got being debt free. Imagine, because the cause is that when you thought it, you stirred something up in a place that you cannot see, that they went to act on what you were believing. And it shows up. Everybody say cause and effect. Effect is what you see. The cause is what's behind. It's what you can't see. It's the spiritual realm. The effect is the manifestation of the cause. Here's an example. God spoke from heaven, the unseen, and said, let there be. And there was light, the seen. He spoke in a place, in a realm that you could not see. It was initiated by him saying something. And when he said it, it stirred it up and it happened. Excuse me. How did God create the effect of producing in Genesis? He spoke. Even Moses got in trouble for it. The first time God told Moses to hit the rock. The second time he told him to speak to the rock. But he messed around and, in other words, he should have been opening up his mouth, shifting from an act command to a voice. Here's how I know that because of that very act, he moved Moses off the scene and he brings up Joshua. Moses is now sent off. God doing the funeral, can't enter into the promised land. The first battle that Joshua gets into, Joshua is fighting and the people are fighting, but it's getting dark and they can't win when it gets dark. And God says to Joshua, speak to the sun. And tell the sun to keep shining and tell the moon to stand still. He didn't say, pray to me. He didn't say, do none of that. He said, open up your mouth. And when you open up your mouth, it'll begin to make some stuff happen in an area that you can't see. And in that area, things turn in your favor. I'm asking a couple of parents, what would happen if you open your mouth about your child's future? What would happen if you open your mouth about your marriage? And y'all ain't giving me enough energy. Let me talk to somebody over there. All I'm asking you, is there some stuff in your spirit that God is waiting on you to say? Let me go over here. Is there some stuff in your, I need you to open. You can initiate the cause by cooperating with the process that creates the effect. And when you find yourself without, it's not because God don't want you to have it. It's because you ain't put in the work. And when you understand that because of who you are, you'll stop putting the blame on other ethnicities. I'm talking in the middle right now. I'm just arrogant enough to tell you that your politics can't stop me. I'm just confident enough to tell you that the color of my skin won't hinder me from where I'm going. That what you see is only a manifestation of what's on the inside. Come on, Tommy. No man after the flesh, but after the spirit. I have the Spirit of God on the inside of me. And he says I'm a lender and not a borrower. He says I'm above and not beneath. He says I can do all. Because of that Spirit that is given to me through the promise of Jesus Christ, I have access. This is good teaching. I don't care if you don't like it. I have access to the unseen world. You ready for this? I'm going to give you one more example. I'm going to give you a scripture, and we're going to be out. You remember when Jesus was feeding the multitude, and they didn't have enough? Don't do that. Who did that? Don't do that. Girl, don't do that. Do you remember? Do y'all remember? Y'all know the story? Y'all don't know the story. I thought y'all was the hood side. This mate got y'all feet over here. They sitting there like, what is he talking about? The feeding of the 5,000 when Jesus the people had been with him all day. And the disciples, it was getting late, and the disciples like, Jesus, it's getting late now. You know how church folk is getting late now. We got to go ahead and get them out of here because and the reason why they wanted to get out of there because it was supper time, and the disciples, the church folk, didn't want the responsibility of feeding the people because it had been too much on them to take care of the people. Because we with you, Jesus, we know we got our stuff, you know what I'm saying? But these people over here, they not with you, so go ahead and send them. Isn't that just like church people? Because when it becomes too much work for them, they just rather send you on. And even though your situation may be your demise, they don't care because they got the Lord. I don't want to pastor people like that. I want to pastor people that if you see somebody in need and you can do something about it, don't sit there and turn your head like you don't see them, because that's religious people. And they got a lot of churches right now, that situation, they take your money, they do this, programs, choir day here, usher day here, doing all of this, but what are you doing in the community? Let me close. So he tells the disciples say, send them away. Jesus said, no, if I send them away, they may faint in the way. He said, sit them down. He said, you feed them. He talking to the disciples because they don't have access their access was through him. He said, you feed them. They said, I don't get my check till the 15th. Have I got a witness here? Oh, Lord. That's all they getting. I just want the visitors to know I can do it if I want to. He said, you feed them. Listen, we ain't got no money, man. Income tax time, I ain't got no money. Jesus said, sit them down. He was letting them know that they had gotten to a point that their earthly access can't supersede his. So he gets it, and he accesses the heavenlies, takes what they gave him and petitions the Father, and the 2 fish and 5 loaves never run out. Why do you think he showed that to you? Because there's going to come a time that your horizontal relationship with man will not supersede vertical relationship. Yeah! I'm going all the way in delusion with that one. Yeah! Yes! Your vertical relationship will supersede your horizontal relationship. Stop asking your cousin them for stuff when you ought to be asking God. And if I was closed, and I will close right here. But I got one more scripture. I'm only 2 minutes late. Deuteronomy 28:2 through 6. All these blessings will come upon you and overtake you if you pay attention to the voice of the Lord your God. You will be blessed in Tuscaloosa. You will be blessed in Akron. You'll be blessed in Greensboro. Anybody from Jerusalem, you'll be blessed in Jerusalem. You'll be blessed in Newbern, Alabama, Havana. You'll be blessed in Uniontown, Cottondale. Anybody from Holt, you'll be blessed. In other words, he is saying wherever you go, y'all ain't saying nothing to me. Y'all ain't saying nothing to me. Wherever you go, baby, let me tell you something. It's on me. Y'all didn't care. I want somebody to get personal and say, it's on me. If I live in an apartment, it's on me. If I live in a mobile home, it's on me. If I live in a house, boy, I wish y'all say it's on me. Look at your neighbor and say, I know you feel it. 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 You better go ahead and get you some. Because wherever I go, Wherever I go, when I'm broke, I'm blessed. When I'm sick, I'm blessed. When I'm by myself, I'm... Can't no divorce stop you. If anything you good at, you good at starting over. Because I'll start over and get it all back. Will somebody shout glory? Blessed in the city, and you'll be blessed in the field. On your job. They went to the field to work. On your job. Can I hit that part right there? On your job. Listen to me, I don't care what they're trying to do to get you fired and make your job look messed up and try to set you up to get laid off. I came to prophesy to somebody. The only reason why the job's still open is so God makes sure you get a check. Did you hear what I just said? God got the job still working so you can get a check. It would have closed down a long time ago. But God knows you got babies that need to be fed. You got bills that got to get paid. And can I tell you something? They can try to stop the promotion. It ain't but one of you. All you need is one. I got to close. Anybody blessed? Tell somebody I'm blessed and I didn't ask for it. Look at it again. Look at somebody else. Say, I'm blessed and I didn't beg for it. I feel good now. Tell somebody I feel good. I've been through a whole lot, but God has kept me. I've been down, but my God has picked me up. Somebody ain't moved over there, but tell somebody I'm blessed and I'm highly favored. Look back over my life, see where God has brought me. He's brought me from a mighty long way. Somebody say yeah. Say yeah. High five your neighbor and say, neighbor, they got it twisted. They thought I was going down. Thought I was out for the last count. But I realized who I am in God. I'm a child of God. I'm born again believer. I got the word on the inside. And I'm here as a living testimony. Look at somebody, say, I'm a living testimony. Been through some stuff. I've been knocked down. I've been put out. I've been put ashamed. But I came to tell you something. I've seen a lot of things. I've seen family turn their back on me. I've seen loved ones fall out with me. But I never seen the righteous forsaken. No, no, no. His seed beg for bread. Say yeah. Say yeah. Say yeah. Yes. Yeah. 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 I'm trying to quit, but I got one more thing to tell you. You ought to grab your neighbor by the hand and say, neighbor, what you see now is not the end of my story. What you see now is the beginning of God got more for me. God got some stuff for me. And look at somebody and say, I want it all. I want it all. Say yes. They got it twisted. They got me messed up. If you thought I was going to stay down, the devil is a liar and his mammy too. High five three people say, I'm going to get it. I'm going to get it. I promise you I'm going to get it. Young folks say, on my mama, I'm going to get it. Young folks say, on God, I'm going to get it. Matter of fact, it is on God because he paid the price. Come on, we got to go. Come on. The visitors don't know that they still sitting down. Everybody on your feet. Come on, stand.